With an Old Firm game, I think we were dizzy by the action of that game at Parkhead. Now we're dizzy again by the atmosphere here. And what's Sebastian Rosenthal going to make of this? He's 20 years old. He has played more than 20 internationals for Chile, but he's one for the future.
Oh, definitely. And what a wonderful reception we got here. I was just like you and I before Richard handed to us here. There is something, I say it every time, there is something special about this fixture. I don't care what anyone says. I might be slightly biased, Tyler, slightly biased. There's something about the New Year fixture, whether it's at Ibrox, whether it's at Celtic Park.
Well, the crowd now around 50,000 at Ibrox these days. But the Celtic contingent hoping to see something that they feel is long overdue. A win over the old enemy. 8 matches without a win. And Rangers in pole position again. For that match at Parkhead in November, only 7 weeks ago, Celtic were top on goal difference going into it. They had their best chance for a long time to really undermine Rangers in the championship. But they lost vital ground on their own ground. And the 2 games they have in hand at the moment will seem little consolation if Rangers get the joy of victory tonight. And Celtic would be 14 points adrift. This time of year, it's a statutory weather report for you. But Glasgow hasn't had too much in the way of severe winter conditions today. Most of the snow has gone. There's even been 1 or 2 bouts of drizzle. And the pitch, with the protection of undersoil heating, is in very, very good order.
1 or 2 we're seeing actually, Mark, this on the bit on the soft side. It's been that good. The undersoil heating's worked a treat.
Must be the only one in the country at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It looks great, Nick. No excuses for either side. It's there, the ball's there to be slicked about. And as this fixture often is, it will have to be slicked about very quickly early on.
But it is a strange game in one sense, in that both camps have had to wait really until the 11th hour to announce their teams. That's not because of Old Firm secrecy. Genuine concerns, primarily over illness. 1 or 2 injuries to be checked today as well. But Walter Smith certainly had to have his thinking cap on in the past couple of hours before he announced his team. And some of the players who are fit, like Alan McLaren and Joachim Björklund, have played very little football. So, although they're physically fit, will they be match fit? There's a lot of imponderables, more than usual, about this match. You
can go 2 ways, I think, with players who might or might not be match fit, Mark. This is the type of fixture where, once you're out there, your body's just full of adrenaline, pumping away through your veins. And that, I think, will help players like McLaren, like Björklund. It might just be a little bit doubt about the fitness. Even Paul McStay, Phil O'Donnell haven't played a great deal of football this year. But I think this atmosphere, this occasion will help that. Is that McCoy, the skipper? No?
Well, he's never bashful when it comes to going to the front of the line, is he?
Can't be.
Ali McCoy playing an Old Firm game for the 49th time. And behind him, the heartbreaker of many a Celtic team, Andy Gorham. But no Richard Gough, no Brian Laudrup, and severe doubts about Paul Gascoigne until the last minute. And where is Gascoigne? But he's not been well, but he's caught up in the electricity that this match produces. Well, we've seen the players, they haven't yet. Well, the teddy bear mascot for the team, known as the Teddy Bears in these parts. Well, it doesn't need words. It's quite unique. Paul McStay, MBE. Congratulations to him. After a long absence with an ankle problem, well, he's timed his return for the second game of his comeback. And here they come. Well, let's bring you right up to date with the team news, because there is so much of it. The flu bug robs Rangers of the major influences of Richard Gough and Brian Laudrup. Andy Gorham and Paul Gascoigne have made it, though. Joachim Björklund also returns to a back three after a 7-game absence with a hamstring strain. Craig Moore is given a holding role in midfield. He's done it before against Celtic. And just the one out-and-out striker in Ali McCoist.
That's right, Martin. Although there have been one or two changes, the one thing that Walter Smith can rely on is a very reliable, the back three, and they will be very important tonight, you feel. Got good width with Cleland, he'll come there. Robertson, in good goal-scoring form, will come up there. I think we've got Gascoigne here, but you watch Paul Gascoigne. He's just going to play in there, in behind McCoist. And I think Moore will just be drop off. He'll be the holding player. It's almost going to be like a little diamond system in that midfield area. They rely on McCoist to get the ball, hold it. And I think even without Laudrup, Gascoigne will be asked to do the kind of job that Brian Laudrup's done so well for Rangers.
Flu in the Celtic camp as well. Tosh McKinley is ill. Phil O'Donnell, who has been under the weather as well, he's switched to the left. Brian O'Neill brought back to become a third central defender. A lot of thought over the midfield. Peter Grant ruled out, but David Hanna gets his first full game for his new club, and the notable name of Paul McStay. And with Tommy Burns mindful of the work of Cadet and Di Canio in attack at Aberdeen on Boxing Day, Pierre Van Hooijdonk is back on the bench.
Yeah, this is a 1-11 that could easily be a 4-4-2. Phil O'Donnell could easily be playing in midfield, but we're led to believe that it's going to be like for like. The 3 centre-backs at the back, the 2 wing-backs. It's going to be important how Paul McStay not only lasts, but how he influences the game for Celtic. And if they can get enough of the ball, and if they can get good service to Cadet and Di Canio, the one thing about the 2 front men, they've got good movement, and that always troubles any kind of defence.
So it's Celtic to kick off the match under the stewardship of Jim McCluskey, who's handled many of these occasions. So Celtic trying to end this run of 8 matches without a win over the old enemy, and in doing so trying to improve their chances of stopping Rangers making it 9 titles in a row. Header forward by Petric, and McCoist sent tumbling by Alan Stubbs. Gascoigne, now Alberts. McCoist pulling away. He was the only player that the German had to aim at in the centre.
That's a tough ball tonight. If you've only got Ali McCoist as your front man to play a ball like that, it's going to have to be more carefully played in. Unless he gets Gascoigne up in front with him.
Away by Tom Boyd. The shape of so many recent meetings has been so similar. Celtic invariably chasing the championship and chasing after Rangers in it. They chase vital wins with gusto, but Rangers have sat back, drawn their sting, and killed them off on the break. McClellan trying to make some progress down the Rangers' right.
Important areas, both wing-back areas. I think if it's going to be tight in the midfield area, both 3 against 3, and that might be the area where there's a little bit of space. Whoever uses that well, uses it better, will get a nice advantage.
McNamara trying to utilise Cadet's fearsome power in the air. Partridge, McLaren and Björklund, the three at the back for Walter Smith. And Gascoigne with licence to roam. Whether he's got the full energy to roam, we must wait and see. Adrenaline is a wonderful thing and can sustain you. And Gascoigne will need big helpings of that to fight his particular flu problem.
For Celtic's three centre-backs, it's all about concentration, Mark. If you've only got McCoist to mark, then they've got to be very aware of runners. People like Albertson, particularly Gascoigne, I think, will be the main two.
And here's Finn O'Donnell, who's made his name really as a midfield player, but did start in his early days at Motherwell as a left-back. I know Tommy Burns would have liked to have harnessed O'Donnell's energy in midfield, but the loss of Tosh McKinley meant the switch and the chance, particularly for David Hanna, signed only last Friday from Dundee United, where he was somewhat in dispute with the management there. Robertson. Impeded.
Well, he's a little unlucky, McNamara, there. I'm not so sure David Robertson would have got a hold of that. He's earned the free kick, he's pushed it. McNamara didn't do an awful lot wrong.
Can Rangers capitalise on the free kick and manufacture an early chance here?
There's half a chance.
McCoist always on the move in the middle.
I think O'Donnell's the one who ends up getting the head on it. Yeah, McCoist and O'Donnell go for it.
Rangers lining up on the edge of the Celtic penalty area. Frantic early minutes here at Ibrox. Still very much, as the corner comes, to not what Rangers hope for. Celtic still with a very raw young goalkeeper, Stuart Kerr, who started the last 9 and performed so capably against Rangers at Celtic Park. Here he comes. Only 22 years old. First season of first-team football.
I'd be looking for him to play as well as he did in the match at Celtic Park, what, 7 weeks ago?
7 weeks in which the season has turned back Rangers' way. But it's a season that's not over yet. Here's McLaren, who's missed the vast majority of it with injury. Björklund, whose fitness problems have been more recent. Cleland. Well, Celtic had plenty of players to deal with that, and it was McNamara who tucked it back to the goalkeeper. Di Canio. No golden boots tonight. McStay. On from Hanna. Here's O'Donnell.
Well, both teams, Mark, when they're losing the ball, are just dropping players off behind the ball, making life really difficult for the team with the ball.
McNamara. Well, he's suddenly come up with something a little bit more ambitious. Cadet is in there, and it spins away. Beyond Andy Gorham, beyond the post. Cadet thinks there was a claim for a corner.
That's a kind of half-hit shot. It certainly was worth a claim. Both he and McLaren go for it. The ball's just spinning anywhere. Andy Gorham very quickly raises his arm. He knows it's not going to trouble the goal.
Alberts. And McCoist in that advanced position for Rangers, ahead of Robertson as well. And Stowe. Well, amidst the well-documented tribal rivalry here, what we've got is a football match with a lot of individual talent in it. from stops, or as it was just run away from Cadet, who'd taken up a good position to just run away from the defender, but the ball in the end bounced away from the two of them as Alan Stubbs put it into an area that could have been awkward for the home side.
Decent ball, good movement. But if you let that kind of ball coming at that kind of from that kind of distance bounce, it is just going to skip away from you tonight.
The Canio flag has gone up for offside against Cadet.
Well, he just gets ahead of play, Cadet, about half a yard offside.
Well, we saw Rangers lose at Dundee United last month, their second defeat of the season, but typically they bounce back with 4 straight wins, 15 goals scored. Gascoigne's been in amongst the scorers himself.
Well, he's getting on the ball, Paul Gascoigne, in the way that Rangers would want, I think, Mark, but not in the areas that they would want. He is picking it up, he is going rather deep. I think they'd want him to pick it up 20, 30 yards further up the field.
Petric. Now Alberts. Robertson with so many attacking instincts coming from the left side. Got a free kick. The second that he's earned in threatening positions.
I don't think you could argue with that one. And there were 1 or 2 fancy this. No doubt Alberts will fancy it with the hammer. Gascoigne.
Alberts came here with a genuine reputation as a set-piece specialist. And Celtic's wall is 5 strong. But Alberts gets it through! The hammer has torn Celtic apart.
You won't see many free kicks hit any harder than that. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. This is goalkeeper's side. This is Stuart Kerr's side. But it's hit with such pace and ferocity. Goalkeeper doesn't edge to the right very far, does he, if at all? But that ball is past him before he can move. Look at the goalkeeper's position. He sees it. It's on its way. Go and move. It's past him before he can move 2 yards. Awesome stuff.
Thunderous power, perfect placement as well. And Rangers lead Celtic by a magnificent Jörg Alberts goal to 0.
It's probably just as well the charger didn't get in the way of that, Martin. 10 yards away, it would have probably halved him in 2. Such was the power.
And there's McLaren here.
Well, McLaren's in trouble.
And Di Canio. Well, Jim McCluskey has called McLaren over straight away. And no sooner than Rangers are celebrating the goal than they're now concerned about Alan McLaren.
Well, we don't know where McLaren just stuck his arm out. As he played the ball back, Di Canio went on the blind side from where we're standing. Might not get a great view of it from here either, as he comes out. Couldn't quite see from there, but obviously referee McCluskey had pretty good view of that because he was right on the whistle right away. No hesitation from the referee. Blew up, free kick, booking.
Well, with McCoy's needing a bit of attention as well. That was almost unnoticed with the concern about McLaren and his future in the match. And straight away, Celtic have got a chance to hit back from an identical position.
Well, they may not have the power of an Alberts. Will they be looking for a little more craft?
Well, Di Canio is there, Donnelly is there, O'Donnell, the number 6, is waiting. Di Canio, oh, Gorham's fumbled, which is a surprise in itself, especially in a game against Celtic.
Well, it might have just been too easy for Andy Gorham. This is probably a bread and butter save, but it does bounce and he takes his eye off it. And how thankful he is for Alan McLaren. We always talk about strikers going in. It's just as important that defenders follow in. Shots on goals, free kicks, for that reason there. Had McLaren not gone in after it, it might well have been 1-1.
Well, you could have made a case at the start of play, even given that Rangers' 11-point lead, for a draw being a useful result to both sides. But the early Rangers goal has now put Celtic in a position where they have to do something that they haven't managed so far against Rangers this season, and that is score. Beaten 2-0 here back in September, 1-0 at Celtic Park in November. McNamara, Cadet. O'Neill across to Boyd. O'Donnell, Cadet. Jim McCloskey straight away pointed for a Rangers throw, and Phil O'Donnell may have thought he was going to get a Celtic free kick.
Not much argument from Phil O'Donnell, though. I always think players' reactions are pretty good, even in a game like this.
Stubbs. Easily read, though, by Petric. Gascoigne, challenged by Di Canio. And that from Ian Ferguson. Right under the nose of the referee. On McStay.
Well, he's late. There's no doubt south of the border, Martin. That would have been a yellow card, I feel, eh?
No doubt. So here's McNamara. Headed forward to Alberts by Gascoigne. Well, no wonder Gascoigne conceded the right of taking the free kick to the German.
No, you wouldn't argue with it, would you?
He's now scored 7 times this season. Notice that they've also put him on penalties recently as well. From that sort of range, if he gets the chance, he might well pull the rigging away from its moorings. McStay. And Gorham knew that Di Canio wasn't going to reach that.
Just got to settle Celtic now, clear their heads. That would have been a blow to them, losing a goal so early. It was a tight opening to the match. There didn't look to be much happening creatively in open play.
But it came from a forward surge from David Robertson, and here comes another one. Ferguson. Here's Craig Moore. He's going to have a crack. Ball bouncing over Cleland to be collected by O'Donnell. Gascoigne. Ferguson. Celtic trading space in midfield. Moore doing well against Boyd. Well, there was a lot of talk in the build-up to the game about a more cautious approach from Celtic, but they're in a situation now where they can't be too cautious.
I don't think the side's a cautious side. I said it might be a 4-4-2 formation, and it might not. It might be a little bit earlier than Tom Boyd would have wanted, but there might be just food for thought of pushing Burnley a little bit further forward. And Phil O'Donnell getting a 4 in the midfield. Not early yet.
Petric waiting, number 4. on the edge of the area. McLaren is up as well. Craig Moore making a run in front of both of those. An object going onto the pitch. Moore and Petric going for it. They want the goalkeeper now to Celtic. They've got a free kick. And Stuart Kerr grateful to hear the whistle.
I think it was. I didn't see Petric do an awful lot wrong here. He looks with his eye on the ball. He certainly went up very powerfully. Both are looking at the ball. Certainly the arms are up, but I mean, I've always said you have to use your arms as leverage when you're jumping. Difficult to jump with them straight by your side.
Boy, trying to get forward and give Celtic a little bit more in the midfield areas. Where Donnelly is. Out comes Alberts. O'Neill. Di Canio. And of course it was an early goal at Celtic Park 7 weeks ago. Of course offside here. That did settle that extraordinary affair, the last match between the two clubs. Heaven only knows how that stayed as the only goal.
Well, there's no doubt about this. There's only about 5 yards offside, not quite here.
But Celtic cannot allow the same thing to happen again. Here's Donnelly. Now McNamara. O'Neill. Patient work from Celtic. Di Canio, who's become such a favourite here.
That was better though, build-up, man, because one of the centre-backs at last joined in the play. Ryan O'Neill this time came up, because there's no need to keep three back when they're only marking Alan McCoy. So whatever side the ball's been played forward on, when O'Neill can go and join on this side, Tom Boyd or Stubbs, more likely Boyd can go on the other. I think that's got to happen, situations like now. So give them that extra man. Create a little bit more space for maybe Phil O'Donnell wide, or Jackie McNamara wide.
Cadet. But easily dispossessed. It was Björklund at his back, but he's gone and got the ball for his side again. Robertson looks in control here. Ferguson, Celtic might nick it back. That was certainly in the mind of Hannah, but he didn't get there quickly enough, and it's Alec Clellan. We've brought you so many goals live on Sky Sports. Have we brought a harder struck one than the one you've seen to light up the opening 20 minutes here at Ibrox this evening? From Jörg Alberts, by which Rangers lead. Archie not trying to get a message to the Rangers players. Just one or two examples, Andy. They've been overplaying a little bit in their defensive third. Ian Ferguson nearly got caught on the edge of his own area.
I think it was just a little worried about the central midfield area. I think they were indicating. Number 9, he seemed to be indicating maybe Simon Dorn, maybe Alberts has just been told, hold on a minute, they've got 3 in the central area. We need to have 3 in there when we're defending.
Ferguson. Stay getting a toe in. Two around Gascoigne. Just had a lingering look at the incident after the ball had gone away, but there was no sign of retaliation. Di Canio. he's getting a lot of players around him. Alves. McCoy's moving freely enough after that earlier injury. Trying to get the better of Stubbs, but it's out for a goal kick.
I think David Robertson's gone down. That challenge with Di Canio. Tangle of arms and legs. I don't think there's anything sinister, but we often look at the power and the pace of free kicks, Martin, don't we? Just how quick was this one? It's gone through the computer. It was hit fiercely. Just over 32 yards. It was quick. Anything up approaching 80 miles an hour is pretty powerful.
Too quick for Celtic.
This was the incident, David Robertson, whether he just injured that shoulder as he landed. Yeah, it must have been. Looks like it could easily have been a free kick. It should have been a free kick for Celtic.
It looked like it definitely should have been a free kick. And it would have been subject to much more scrutiny had McCoy made a bit more of it further forward and really rounded off that break that came from the play-on signal from Jim McCluskey. Here is McCoy, needing some support, not getting it that time. Hannah was a player backed for a long time by Jerry Francis when he was manager of Queen's Park Rangers, but the expected transfer never materialised. Here's McNamara. It is a strong suit for George Cadet. His aerial work, he got a great goal on Boxing Day up at Aberdeen when Celtic came from behind, as they're trying to do at Ibrox tonight.
It's difficult to score from crosses from that kind of angle. Colin Bonds would like those crosses to be coming from maybe 20-25 yards nearer the goal line in that kind of area. But again, the possession's been decent from Celtic in the middle third. They've knocked it about, got it wide. It's that final third that they've really had trouble with against Rangers over recent times. Turning possession into goals.
Cleverly and calmly done by Gascoigne. Björklund, the Swede. Gascoigne solving his difficulties there with an expansive back pass. Profitable minutes for the league leaders, the long-time defending champions, against the side trying to wrestle power back across the city of Glasgow. Cadet, Donnelly. O'Donnell. And Di Canio, trying for a trick or two perhaps as he takes on Petric. And gets the cross in, it's over Cadet. But it comes to McNamara.
It was a decent hit from McNamara. That certainly would have made Gordon work if Alan McLaren not got in the way.
Cadet. Making any real contact there, nor did he to the cross, which was from a more inviting angle from Di Canio on the left. There's no doubt that under Tommy Burns, Celtic have improved and developed the strength of their playing staff, but he knows that the fans want silverware, of course, but also they use the results against Rangers as their own personal barometers.
I think he'd take a bad performance tonight if it meant a 2-1 victory. You bet your life on that.
Yes, I think that's one of the truest statements you've ever made. any sort of victory. But if the Rangers fans, when they heard the team announced without Gough, that was not such a surprise. The news leaked yesterday. But without Laudrup as well, that was a shock to the Rangers followers. They might have been concerned. Well, they might be concerned here at Di Canio. They'll have to do better than that to better Goram.
It was promising, no, Martin. His touch was lovely and the ball fed up to him. And he turned Petric beautifully. And this is a really, really forceful and driving run. Very strongest side, the left. Never looked like getting the shot into trouble the goalkeeper. It's far more positive.
Well, there's no doubt of the talent of Di Canio. His problem in Italy, where he served several of the top clubs, was really producing it on a regular basis. The type of player who would take in team instructions and then actually go out on the pitch and forget all about them.
I've known a few of them.
Gascoigne brought down. Alberts. McCoy's just pulling away. Robertson. Well, Rangers press back. Will they stay cool enough and be technically sufficiently well equipped to play this sort of keep ball without giving Celtic a chance of nicking it and suddenly seizing the chance to get back in the game? McNamara getting the better of Alberts and Donnelly coming away with the ball. Here's Cadet, Björklund going beefily across.
Well, he won the physical battle and just lost out in controlling the ball. He was looking for Björklund, you could see that. He won that battle, but just overran the ball, just a touch.
Almost half an hour gone. O'Neill just leaning over the top of Gascoigne.
Half an hour, Mark, and very, very few real attacking moves of quality. Can't remember either goalkeeper being too troubled. One stunning free kick.
McLaren. Björklund, who's not too keen on crossing the halfway line, and will want to check back and will need to check back. Cadet.
Well done,
well offside.
Yeah, good defending that. He knew he was the last man, Petric. Canyon was always looking to run in behind. And he just steps up, gets it absolutely right.
Well, there's been an incident with the ball being kicked by Goram, and it hit Di Canio on the back. And Di Canio is the player singled out by the Rangers fans as, and it's a compliment to him really, the one they want to get at. Suddenly it was an explosive moment. Di Canio saw it as deliberate, which it might well have been. Only Andy Goram will truly know. He's getting the ball up to where the free kick was to be taken from. Well, Celtic again finding it hard to curb the movement down the Rangers left of Davy Robertson.
He's been the best attacker on the field in the opening half hour. David Robertson has been the most profitable one. He's earned his side many free kicks in dangerous areas.
A deep one from Alberts. A header from Petric, who's showing his power in that Celtic penalty area.
Well, it's a good header. A little bit more height in this might well have tested Stuart Kerr a bit more severely.
It's also a test of Di Canio's temperament, this. Every time a tackle comes in, it's being greeted with great raptures by the Rangers fans.
Well, if he's got a suspect temperament, and one or two suggest that he has, well, it might well be severely tested this evening.
Well, he was sent off at the end of November against Hearts, but Celtic have had a real rash of red cards this season. They're into double figures. O'Neill. Andy, I'll watch the game. You watch Di Canio for a minute, just to see in case something happens.
I have been marking both of them. He's just been chatting to Gordon Petrick. Both of them have just been having a little natter. It all seems to have settled down now.
McNamara, McStay taking over. Of course, has been in championship-winning sides for Celtic. Does seem a long time ago. Well, to him, it is a long time ago. Last won the title in '88. It's the last time they won a New Year's Old Firm fixture as well. A couple of goals from Frank McAvenny. Stubbs, but there's no pressure on him from the misplaced pass. Rangers regrouping in their own half.
That's what I think now. Tommy Boyd's got to go a little bit further forward now. Give Paul McStay the option.
Donnelly. The referee's got the rule here.
It's a booking, I think, for Craig Moore. It's a good ball fed through.
And he flattened Hannah.
There's no doubt that was deliberate. There's no doubt that's a free kick. And there's no doubt he's getting booked.
So for the second time, from a similar position, Celtic have a chance to equalise. Canio wants the ball near the penalty area. The referee just threatening to produce the card for either Di Canio or O'Donnell, who were querying the positioning of the free kick. Di Canio, that's Stubbs, but it was all rather ponderous.
McCoy's did his job. He's obviously back there to charge it down. Offside just then, but he's obviously down. He charged the ball and he did his job really well. Stubbs has got a fearsome shot, there's no doubt about that. Celtic will have worked on this free kick, played along the line like that. McCoy's was very sharp, very bright.
Yes, McCoy's made it look ponderous. He might want that one on his video scrapbook to show that he does defend. Alberts couldn't get there, broken up by O'Neill. Di Canio making up the ground, and Gorham waiting for the ball that never quite reached the penalty area. Had to head it away, otherwise Di Canio might have nicked a goal.
Well, he got it right, but only just Andy Gorham. Obviously he thought that this ball was going to kick on through, it didn't.
Petric on Cadet, free kick taken quickly, 10 minutes to go to half-time. The type of contest that only Old Firm games bring. Well read by Stubbs. Well, it was a long way off target in the end, but it was a show of ambition to typify Celtic's needs.
I mean, it's a dangerous, dangerous ball from Alberts. Just plays it straight into an area where McCoy was always second best.
Alberts furthest forward at the moment. Boyd tucks it away from him. Celtic had this long period of inactivity due partly to bad weather, also to calls on their international players. But they've got going again over the holidays with home wins over Dundee United and Dunfermline, and the Boxing Day comeback at Aberdeen.
I think that was impressive, Mark. Those were 3 games that I think Tommy Burns knew his side just couldn't afford to drop any points. He needed 3 victories. And I think that was pretty impressive to achieve that.
What was also very impressive was the amount of money raised for charity by the selling of Di Canio's golden boots. £58,000 for good causes for children. Wonderful.
We've never been short in the football world, north of the border, Martin. Getting lots of money for good causes, charities especially.
Well, he's worn the white ones before. Moore. Cleland in space. Gascoigne joining McCoist in the Celtic penalty area. Two of them going in there and cleared by McNamara. A bit of room for Donnelly, who went and got it back after he deflected off Ferguson, and then Di Canio couldn't find the angle to get the ball back to Simon Donnelly. Coming up for you on Sky Sports at the weekend. Sky Sports 1. Third round of the FA Cup, of course, in England. Arsenal against Sunderland. They did extended highlights and other games as well. 6 o'clock on Saturday. And then from the Valley, Charlton against Newcastle, live on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Oh, look at that, for where the game has been played.
Midfield battle, one would suggest.
And very little in the way of attacking work for the side that leads. Ferguson. And he can have a go here. Kerr was plunging to his left again. The ball beat him again, but also beat the post.
Well, they've done that well today, Rangers. The one thing when they have attacked is they've shifted the ball from left to right really well. They do it again. They could have gone right to Cleland. He decided it was open enough and there was enough time for him to get the shot. Power was there, just lacked a little accuracy.
Boyd. Now McNamara. For so many of this generation of Celtic players, this is an all too familiar situation. Rangers leading the league and leading in a match between the two great Glaswegian rivals. Ferguson walking away. I don't know whether he was the player involved there. It looks as though he might have been.
You just see it in the corner of the screen as the pass goes in. Certainly a solid lad, Ian Ferguson, there's no doubt about that. David Hanna just made a run right across the back three and just get caught a little offside.
The treatment goes on for Jackie McNamara, and Tommy Burns assesses what doesn't look like serious damage from a distance. Archie Knox went right to the edge of the Rangers technical area to talk to Alberts and Robertson about something that's not satisfying the Rangers management.
The little thing it might be is Simon Donnelly, because he has been the one Celtic player in the last 10 or 15 minutes who's found himself a little bit of space in that midfield area and got himself on the ball.
He also played very well in the last game, earned that penalty that Van Hooydonk couldn't convert. Both sides, of course, failing from the penalty spot 7 weeks ago. It's a free kick that's produced a difference between the two teams to this point tonight. Stubbs. So much pent-up emotion for the players, which they're glad to have the release of when the game finally gets underway. Everyone wanting to be aggressive and all action. It's applying those principles properly that matter. McNamara. Everyone should be able to collect that. But the goal apart, Andy, there's not a great deal of difference between the two teams.
No, it's been very, very similar to many games that we've seen recently between the two. If anything, Celtic have probably again had more possession of the ball. You can see from the action areas they've had more pressure in the attacking areas. That familiar scoreline in the top left-hand corner is the one that I think worries the most. And that's late. I don't think the referee saw it though, Mark. I think he followed the play.
It was ending happily. You can see it there again.
Looked like he lost his footing, in all fairness, Cadet. Slid into him rather than anything deliberate.
Yes, the crowd react to every physical contact, particularly on a Rangers player, as though grievous bodily harm has taken place. David Robertson still feeling that shoulder from the earlier incident in the half. But Gascoigne and Cadet, there was no hangover from that incident a few seconds ago. As if Gascoigne might have given himself a New Year's resolution of calmness to all men. Most of all to himself. Cadet. And strong play by McLaren. Gascoigne. Two running to the right for Rangers. And Collins skipped past O'Donnell. Craig Moore can go on here.
Well back, Brian O'Neill. That was a lovely break from Rangers. One of the best pieces of football of the night.
Celtic's attempts to come up with something similar of their own ends with an offside.
This is a great ball from Gascoigne. Waited absolutely perfectly for Cleland. Teased O'Donnell. That's good defending.
I don't think it could have been seen as a deliberate back pass, but in any case it deflected onto Moore before Kerr picked it up. Brian O'Neill, who made a costly error in the last game, certainly spot on with his challenge there. Offside.
It's always tight when defender and forward cross. Di Canio turns and plays it. I think he's just about offside.
Gascoigne doing 1 or 2 stoppages in this first half, but Jim McCluskey will have to make allowances for. Rangers trying to use the late moments to improve their situation even further. McLaren. Cadet. O'Donnell. Celtic getting to this sort of position, but not finding anything particularly sharp ahead of their work on the ball in midfield. Di Canio. It's a rather gingerly attempted tackle by Robertson, an effective one nonetheless. But he's one player who's got to be checked fitness-wise as he flexes that right shoulder again.
Yeah, he's got problems with it, no doubt about that.
But the biggest bruise at the moment has been inflicted on the hopes of Celtic by a thumping free kick. Donnelly. Cadet. Now O'Donnell. That was Ferguson holding him up. Boy. O'Donnell again.
I think that's what they've got to do. They've got to get Tom Boyd in those sort of positions. Further forward, allow O'Donnell to go even further.
Well, there's surely only a few seconds to go in this half as the corner comes in from Di Canio. And Gorham comes with a strong fist. And he wants to go in looking for those who caught him. He had his eyes on the ball, so I'm not sure that he absolutely knew who he was looking for. Stubbs was the player who gave it everything and had an arm raised as well.
Well, he's not the biggest goalkeeper, Andy Gorham. He made it as I think Stubbs was going cleanly and fairly for the ball. When two people are coming in opposite directions, straight at each other, then there's going to be a collision. Stubbs looks to me as if he's got his eye on the ball. He goes to challenge for it. Certainly catches Andy Gorham.
And he's booked for it. Well, it's half-time at Ibrox. And the one goal, an absolute stunner. Here it is from Jörg Alberts. A blur as it zipped into the Celtic net. And Rangers, in pole position in the league table, are in the driving seat here against the old enemy again. At half-time at Ibrox, it's Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Goal attempts few and far between, though, and Celtic have had more of them. 6 as opposed to Rangers 4. Each hit the target twice. Importantly, Rangers found a way through, of course. Well, 3 booked already. Moore and McLaren from Rangers. Alan Stubbs there right on half-time from Celtic. Look at that. Those action areas. Never seen that before. 67% in the middle third. 48% of the possession for Rangers. 52 Celtic, but they trail. Gordon Smith and Charlie Nicholas are our guests here at Ibrox. We said going into it, Charlie, it was a game that Celtic quite simply had to win.
Yep.
Can you see a way through for them on the evidence of what has happened so far?
Not in the current way that the team is lined up. No, I don't believe that they have got anybody with serious penetration or anybody that's done anything so far. It's the most comfortable I've seen Rangers defensively in certain areas for a long time in a derby game. I'm surprised Celtic are not a bit more. I know they're going to play a bit more cautious tonight, we knew that. But Phil O'Donnell, for me, needs to be moved into the central area and get someone else, even young Hannah, to play on the left side.
Let's have a look at the goal that separates the teams. A bit special, Gordon, wasn't it? Absolute screamer.
Fantastic strike. I mean, that's the thing about Alberts. He's got so much power in his left foot there. I think the wall slightly opens up for him, to be honest with you. I think it may be Jackie McNamara who's attacking it here on the edge, just decides to come forward. The Kerr has left very little space on his left-hand side, and as Jackie McNamara comes off the line to try and block it, he's half-turned on it, and I think by the time the keeper sees it coming past him on the outside, it's just purely the pace that beats him.
What was there to hit, though? A postage stamp, really, wasn't there? And he found it.
I think he's probably got less than a yard. I mean, Jackie has turned on it, but he's got less than a half a yard for accuracy there, and he's found it.
Are we being a little bit critical looking at what went wrong there? Should we not just be admiring the power, the strength, and a wonderful free kick?
I think so. I agree with Gordon's point in a way, because that guy's to block it. Jackie's there to block that post. But the power on that and the accuracy on the strike as well as the power was sensational.
There would be one or two managers there who would have a bit of a fault, would find fault with Jackie McNamara for turning his back.
But they'll always find a fault, wouldn't they?
Yeah, when somebody hits a ball that hard, you know, it's difficult to go out and face it, you know.
He didn't move out of the way.
Yeah.
Frankly, with that one coming at you. At the other end, Di Canio, almost on the back of that opening goal, found a way through.
It just tries to hit the target, which she does, and very unlike Gorham. It's got to be said, the surface is very, very slippery.
I was just going to say that it's not the best in that 6-yard area, is it?
It's not. All round the pitch, it is quite wet. It's a wet top, but it's very unlike him.
I think the ball took a spin when it hit that bounce, actually.
McLaren had given the free kick away.
Watch this, it changes direction in the ball. Watch as it hits the bounce, look, it changes direction slightly. And he's lucky there that Al McLaren's the first to react to it, because that could easily have been a Celtic player putting that in the net.
Rangers sitting on a win here, do you think?
I think they are comfortable. As Charlie says, the big problem that they've got is that Celtic are not pushing people forward at them. I know that's the way they've been beaten in the past, but really when you see the lineups tonight, Celtic now, I think at this stage at half-time, have to come out and change it.
It's 1-0 to Rangers at half-time at Ibrox. And that's how it feels if you're a Celtic supporter. Here we go again. It's Rangers in the driving seat, 1-0 at half-time. If you've just joined us, this is how they took the lead inside the opening 10 minutes. What a strike that was from Albert. And it stayed just like that. As Celtic take to the field again, Charlie Nicholas and Gordon Smith are with us. A quick word, Charlie, you'd change it around a little bit, would you?
I would bring Phil O'Donnell into the central area. I think he can run and create gaps in the Rangers' defence. But I think if it stays the same, I think Celtic will just peter out. Rangers are in control.
Steady as you go then for Rangers, is it, Gordon?
Yeah, they just have to keep holding this onto this result. It looks as if that's what they want to do anyway. They're pulling everybody back. They've maybe catch Celtic again on the break, but they must be comfortable with a 1-0 lead.
Canio is never short of something to say, is he? OK, let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you very much, Richard. It might surprise many of you watching to know that since the Premier Division came into being in Scotland, which was back in the mid-70s, Celtic have actually won of these matches than Rangers. So they are cyclical turns, but it's been a long, long, long wait for the Celtic fans. And Jörg Albertz has added to their gloom. 2.5 games for Celtic against Rangers so far this season, not a goal to show. And Andy, in all honesty, not much of a sight of goal for Celtic, despite plenty of midfield possession so far tonight.
Yeah, I think I agree with Charlie. I think that I've never, in the games that I've seen this year, between them, seen the back three as untroubled as they've been for Rangers. I also think that part of the problem, Martin, with the midfield three that Celtic have got, in Hannah, McStay and Donnelly, is the fact neither of the three of them have ever got past the front two yet. If you're facing a back three and you've got to shift them somehow, either the front two have got to do it, or else someone's got to put in runs from midfield. Neither of those three have done that up till now. And I think that's where Phil O'Donnell's forte is. It's making forward runs. It's been a box-to-box player. He's not changed it, Tommy Burns. Phil O'Donnell is still on this left-hand side. So it's as you are for both sides as we start the second half.
Here's Ferguson. And the good news for Rangers fans is that Davy Robertson has reported for duty for the second half. He's not 100%. Gascoigne, as we've told you, is suffering with the flu. One or two others. Also keeping Walter Smith waiting before he could announce tonight's team. And Stubbs, one of the players booked in the first half, and he's got to be careful with the timing of his tackling.
And when he comes in at the back of McCoist, I think in any other league in the world, that would be a free kick, yes, and it would also be a yellow card.
Well, it's a mandatory decision with a tackle from behind. Referees shouldn't be given the discretion, according to the letter of their instructions. Stubbs survives. Gascoigne, who's played understandably within himself without ever being on the peripheries of the match. Of course, he's never been on the losing side against Celtic. If that's to happen tonight, we're in for a dramatic change around in the second half. No signs of it so far. Finally, DiCanio, the player that they want to see working in the other half of the pitch, is the one to make the decisive move close to his own goal to clear the danger. Albertz. Robertson.
Looking for offside. They certainly thought that Robertson was offside when the ball was played through to him.
Well, the second goal for Celtic, even at this relatively early stage, and you begin to wonder how Celtic could save the game. Albertz takes. Right into a ruck of players attacking the ball. Stuart Kerr stayed on his line.
We've got a bit of view, actually. He got his head to the ball. Plenty of players went in. Ian Ferguson's the one who ends up getting a head to it.
Well won by Gascoigne. Stubbs. O'Donnell pressed by Cleland, and that forced Boyd into a hurried movement against Craig Moore. Cleland's there again. Now Donnelly. Needs a bit of help, but his own skill helped him out of a tightish corner then. It's very difficult for Cadet and DiCanio without midfield support in advanced areas. Celtic, obviously, with this note of caution that we've mentioned after being suckered by Rangers in previous games in recent times. They're sticking to the shape aligned by Tommy Burns and Billy Stark in their pre-match preparation. And I suppose since it wasn't changed at half-time, you feel that they're happy to at least make sure they don't concede a second and pick up the tempo as the match draws to its close. But it's Robertson from McCoist, who was onside. I'm sure Celtic would have agreed with that, but the flag stayed down.
Well, again, it's Robertson who causes the problems, Martin. How often he's done that tonight? Not by going wide, but by driving infield. Certainly a question about offside. You can see what McCoist was trying to do. Looked up, just trying to chip it over the goalkeeper.
Gascoigne illuminating the match with his skill and not really doing exactly the same with his show of temper. He'd been pretty much in control in the first half. He's got his free kick.
It's a lovely run. I think he's played well tonight, Martin. He said he's feeling under the weather. There's doubts about his fitness. And I think he's had a good game.
This is Cleland.
I'm just looking down at the bench and Van Hooydonk's tracksuit's coming off, Martin. So I think within the next 4 or 5 minutes, that's the first change.
And here's O'Donnell playing it forward from central midfield. Cameron tidies up. And where's O'Donnell going to go now?
He's just trotting back over his position.
He is, yeah. I wonder whether... Now he's getting a message from Hannah, but he's still concentrating on the left side of things. It's Di Canio.
Slacking bodies here. And there they've got Di Canio's is hooking it in, and only one player. And the one thing about O'Donnell is he does make runs into the box.
Headed down by Hannah. Never even been to watch an Old Firm game. Now here he is playing in well. Brought down by Moore, who is another of the names in Jim McCluskey's book in the first half. Free kick already taken. Donnelly. Losing out to Alberts, who's shrugged him aside. McCoist goes left of centre to collect the pass. Alberts has continued his run. And as you might expect, Davy Robertson with 3 goals for the club in December. Looking for more since the year has turned.
That was a great run, Martin. He must have been 20, 30 yards behind Alberts when he won the ball.
Björklund. Ball coming when Simon Donnelly was caught in possession. Stubbs. Now O'Donnell. Celtic, who make progress in the other matches against other rivals in this division, but it's like running into a brick wall when they come up against Rangers. Gascoigne. Good tracking back by Hannah against Cleland. Pedek, now Di Canio. Running beyond McLaren, but another player as well.
Here comes Van Hooydonk, Martin.
It's Donnelly who's coming off. Well, Pierre Van Hooydonk has had too much publicity, really, for his off-the-field dispute with the club, where he wants an improved contract. It may be time for him to go and get the right sort of publicity for the club. He's unhinged Rangers before. Now, what sort of adjustment is that going to make?
He had a word with Di Canio. I don't know whether they're just going to drop him a touch deeper, whether they're just going to go, okay, let's try and test you, let's force more blue shirts back, let's play 3 up front.
And maybe 3 in midfield and a back 4.
That will be. Tom Boyd's edging over towards this side. That's a free kick, no doubt. But Tom Boyd's edging to the left back area. Phil O'Donnell's now got a more central position. And it might be that Paolo Di Canio, Martin, will play sort of left side, but certainly not tied to the left side. He'll be given the freedom to go in and join the front two, I'm sure.
Well, it's a change that strikes a positive note. And that's what Celtic badly need. First of all, they have to defend Gascoigne's free kick, which actually doesn't trouble them at all. The Rangers were pretty unambitious in the number of players they pushed forward themselves.
Amazing, isn't it? 36, 35 minutes to go in a football match. Free kick in the last third of the pitch. Hardly showed an interest. Neither of the back three, all good in the air, showed any interest in going forward for it.
And they've got to be careful, Rangers, because if they stop occupying Celtic, they're just going to draw them on, and, well, it's just a 1-0 lead. Cullen gets back. Ferguson is there strongly. In went McStay. Still McStay.
Well, the run was there to be admired. Just couldn't put the shot in. Well, that's what's needed. Wins the ball well and then just makes a straight line. Lovely diagonal run. Skips past once, skips past McLaren. Just when he needed a little bit of composure, just lost it slightly.
But the captain setting the right kind of example. And the New Year honour he would really appreciate would be the honour of scoring an equaliser at Ibrox tonight. Confirmed at just over 50,000. More messages being passed to Craig Moore this time. Down there by the touchline and within earshot. You have to be pretty close to be heard by the coaching staff shouts. Here's Gascoigne. Celtic starting to get a little bit more fired up, as if the presence of an extra attacker has signalled a sort of return to their natural cavalier instincts. Cleland, Moore, it's given away rather cheaply, or is it? It was a miss kick that was lucky. It reached McCoist, ran beyond Hannah. Robertson.
Well, it looked an easy save, didn't it? But Andy Gorham's looked just as easy as it bounced in front of him from the free kick in the first half, and he spilled it. And this just is about the same. The fiercest shot, just skips up. All about concentration there.
Cadet. Oh, it's a mistake by Björklund. Di Canio. Looking more promising for Celtic here. They've got plenty of players in the centre. Di Canio there, certainly able to take it behind. Björklund could have cleared, and suddenly there was a posse of players on the scene for Celtic.
And they opened up just to get it across goal. I thought he had an opportunity there with both Van Hooydonk and Cadet in positions to receive across, but he ignored them and just overran it. It was noticeable there, Martin, that Phil O'Donnell got involved, high up the pitch for the first time.
The Rangers, really for the first time in the match, looking a little rattled. McStay. Celtic have got to up the tempo. They're trying to do that. Di Canio. Earlier ball this time. Van Hooydonk! Good stop by Gorham. It was a terrific header.
That was a great header. Björklund was waiting for the ball. Van Hooydonk wasn't. He gets in front of the defender. Super header. Good save from Gorham. That's the threat he poses.
Well, the Celtic fans will feel that this is more like it. Di Canio with the corner.
Well, I thought that was a Gascoigne here, I have to say.
And
He's changed his
he
mind.
has changed his mind.
I thought Paul Gascoigne got his head to this and cleared it. He did. Initially points for a goal kick. See it there.
Very important phase of the game, this. Rangers losing some of their first half composure. Celtic forcing it away from them, perhaps. O'Donnell. Time really for players on both sides to stand up and be counted now, and here's Cleland. And Robertson with another run from a different channel this time. And Celtic, who were pressing with corners of their own, now have to defend one.
Well, that's what they're always going to be careful from now, Celtic, isn't it? We saw it at Celtic Park recently when they had under tremendous pressure how quick the Rangers broke and got at them.
Off the head of Petric, back by Moore. Wondering whether it was going out. Albert's charging in. It clearly had crossed the line. This young goalkeeper whose original contract ends at the end of the season. Been interest, not surprisingly, in his services, but he wants to stay at the club. And I'm sure a new deal will be hammered out for that to happen. Robertson. Now Alberts. Half an hour to go. It's all in the last half an hour, 7 weeks ago. And the game had exactly the same situation. Celtic pursuing, gaps opening up, and Rangers, notably Van Vossen, who is a substitute so far unused tonight, with the miss of many a season. Good tracking back by Gascoigne. Stop Boyd's cross getting in. So
Sorry, Matt, from Rangers being comfortable, Tommy Burns' changes have given them a problem or two. They've certainly benefited from them, Celtic.
Boyd. Aiming for Cadet. Stubbs to Boyd. Front man reposition. Boyd's got a decent angle for a cross that's defended calmly and capably by Petric. Moore, the Australian. Cleland trying to take it at full tilt. Gascoigne just looking at the bench and flexing that right side.
Well, if he's feeling flow, Mark, feeling flow, it's about now when the legs might just start to go. That's an area where they can't afford to be carrying anyone. I think it's something that Walter Smith will have to look at carefully. Paul Gascoigne's fitness next 5 or 6 minutes.
Quick throw from Celtic after Robertson's legs have gone in a slightly different sense. Over on that far touchline. The gap for O'Donnell to exploit when the original throw came in. Van Hooydonk back with McStay in that holding position again. Stubbs not deep enough. McStay to pick it off once more. Stop Rangers getting out of their own half. O'Neill. Now Hannah. McStay. Cadet came to him quite quickly. Hannah. And Hooydonk claiming he was fouled. Play on, says Jim McCluskey. My impression, Andy, was that the Dutchman was looking for something and he didn't get it. Here's Gascoigne. Looking for the sort of break that led to a second goal in the earlier match here this season, which came after Celtic were pressing it. It actually hit the frame of the Rangers goal at the other end. Did Celtic have a case?
I didn't think so. I agreed with you. I thought the ball had cleared both Van Hooijdonk and I think it's Petric. Nah, was it Bjorklund? Nah, I think he just stands his ground, the defender, on the edge of the box.
But it's a different Celtic at the moment.
Well, just looking down again, Charlie Miller has got tracksuit bottoms off, Martin in the dugout. I wonder if they're concerned about maybe Paul Gascoigne's legs, his fitness. They're pointing over to him, they're asking him. He's knackered, that's what he's saying. He can't get any breath.
Well, it's been a noble effort to put this much in. McStay. Back to Boyd. Van Hooijdonk pulling away to the far post. Others in there as well. Oh. There was Di Canio behind Van Hooijdonk initially. Hanna then has the shot.
What a save that was, Martin.
Again, Andy Gorham shuts out Celtic.
What a save this is. This is pure instinct. It's a great ball in and they've got presence and they've got players. He doesn't even use his arms or his body, he actually kicks it away. Incredible. What reactions.
Was O'Neill up the highest. But they were looking for Van Hooijdonk. Di Canio came in behind. The ball bounced down and Andy Gorham, well, rewrote the goalkeeping manual.
It's just reactions, isn't it? He probably couldn't have gotten there. Did Cadet have half a chance as it came back off? Did it just hit him? Yeah, it just hits him in the head.
Well, Paul Gascoigne, not a well man, comes off with Rangers still in a healthy situation, but their condition being put to the test, and Charlie Miller comes on to try and stem the flow if he can, which is coming through the midfield towards the Rangers goal.
Well, if the back three looked very comfortable in the opening 45 minutes of this match, they've looked anything but in this second half, particularly since Tommy Burns has made the change.
O'Neill, Di Canio. We've seen this situation so often.
You read my mind. And that's why mentally it's as much a problem for Celtic. You feel, Mark, they've got to believe they can score.
Boyd. Van Hooijdonk. Cadet. Di Canio. They have scored! That's what it means to Tommy Burns. And to all connected with Celtic. Well, they've hammered away and they've broken through.
What a really cool finish he showed there, Di Canio. It's lovely football. He plays it well here, Van Hooijdonk to Cadet. They think they've got the tackle in, that's a cool finish. Gorham goes to ground and he just slips it underneath his body. Comes charging out. Just watch the way he slips it under Gorham. One touch to control it, the second under the goalkeeper. Game on.
A quarter of the game to go. And after the joy, Tommy Burns came down to earth pretty quickly and he was getting messages on to his players just to be calm, tapping the side of his head as if to say, use your brains now. Don't let emotion totally take over. 1-1. Painful welcome to the action O'Donnell inflicted on Charlie Miller.
You would have thought that, all right. Trouble is, Rangers have been defending for so long. Celtic are certainly on the up. It's difficult to turn that around.
Clearance by Di Canio. Van Hooijdonk with a Rangers player. Alberts it is down. Play was then stopped for a free kick in Celtic's favour, but pandemonium is breaking out here. There's a suggestion too that Celtic's celebrations were deemed too excessive by Jim McCluskey.
Well, we don't quite see what went on there. And that was a free kick given there. Celtic wanted to get on with it. Ball's played away.
That should have been a booking for Björklund for kicking the ball away. They seem to have different interpretations this side of the border. McStay. Back from McLeod, so they've got the better of Andy Gorham in an old firm clash, and it's the first goal, of course, that Celtic have scored against Rangers this season. No wonder they're very thrilled about it, and they're looking for more. The flag's gone up as the ball spirals forward for offside against Paolo Di Canio, who could have been the player singled out by Jim McCluskey for celebrating too excessively. He went right into the crowd. Well, that's one of the laws that I have no sympathy with at all, made by people who've never ever scored goals in their lives. Certainly not at this level where it means absolutely everything. Here comes Petric. And McCoist is, in the context of this game, miles offside.
Well, if Charlie Miller could have just held it, Martin, taken a touch. Alberts had made a great run on the outside. You watch Alberts come at the top of the screen. There he goes. If Miller had gotten a hold of the ball, well, it was there to be fed in.
Bit of nail-biting for Walter Smith. Eric Bow Anderson adjusting the tracksuit behind the manager.
One or two tired legs out there, Martin, in blue jerseys.
Well, there are all sorts of factors for that. The hectic holiday programme, even taking into account the bad weather that saw a Rangers game postponed on Saturday. Also the flu bug that's in both camps. The fact that the number of players have only recently come back from injuries, but the frowns are with the league leaders now. Well, can Celtic do here tonight what they did at Aberdeen when they were a goal down and hit back to win 2-1? They've got the best part of 20 minutes, and they've got Tom Boyd on the ball. Miller. Boyd should have got it back, did in the end, but made it a bit more difficult than it needed to be. Here's Di Canio, running to the left is Cadet. And Robertson has to concede the corner.
Well, he did the right thing. He had Di Canio coming behind him. He wasn't sure about the knock back to the goalkeeper. Di Canio keeps running from there. One or two spaces beginning to open. Front men are making runs and getting some joy.
Oh, this is balanced right on the brink. Alberts. He gets it upfield as far as McNamara. Good challenging by McCoist. Tommy Barnes all of a tingle. And Celtic certainly have the initiative. Can they seize the points as well? Stubbs. Oh, the sheer presence of Van Hooydonk is giving Celtic something different to aim at. He's already had one tremendous header.
He's doing well, Martin, because he's pulling on Bjorklund and David Robertson, not the biggest.
Di Canio. McStay. Rangers try and close him down in the shape of Ferguson. Di Canio's crossed the ball, looping up. Robertson can't do anything more than help it on its way behind. A succession of crosses and corners into that Rangers penalty area. Robertson clears. Di Canio. And the corner count rises. These are nerve-wracking times for Rangers.
And they want a better corner. This is the third one, Mark, but neither of the previous two have really have enough quality to trouble Rangers. Hardly cleared the edge of the 6-yard box. They want to put something in here that these players can go and attack.
Well, it goes back to McNamara. McCoy sticks out the toe. Here's Hannah, the new boy. DiCamio. It's got to be touched away for a corner again by McLaren.
That was a better ball. There's the front. Yeah, it's a much better ball. Gives McLaren a problem.
Celtic fans in the stadium having a great view of all this. At that end of the ground. All sorts of pushing and shoving going on around the penalty spot. Let's stay. Back to the corner taker, DiCamio. Oh, where's that going to drop? Under Gorhamsbury, opts to fist it down. Obviously felt he couldn't get it up and over for another corner. That stops. Clallam can't get out, but at least the ball's rebounded out of play off McStay. And Walter Smith is going to bring on Eric Bow Anderson, who's got blistering pace and may just help Rangers counter-attack. Also, Peter Van Bossen's coming on as well, so Craig Moore and Ali McCoy to replace. So that's the full set of substitutions for Rangers. 15 minutes or so left on the clock. Well, those two were very threatening in the latter stages of the last game as counter-attackers, the Dutchman and the Dane.
They need to get some way they can get a breather, the back lot of Rangers, Mark, because they've just been under enormous pressure for the last 15-20 minutes. The only way you can really relieve that is by getting people up, get hold of it, and that's what probably is in Walter Smith's thinking.
Well, that's one way to relieve a bit of pressure, get a free kick, take a bit of time over it. It's been so quiet around Stuart Kerr for the best part of 20 minutes or so now. It's all been Celtic. It's produced the equaliser. Cadet. Sensibly by Petric. Here's Robertson. He's still full of running. On from Alberts. Good positioning from Boyd, tucking in from left back as he's now playing in a back four. Ian Ferguson made a decisive move to get that ball that was in the air a long time, with others standing still around it. And the Rangers fans very anxious. Cleland. Here's Van Bossen. It's a hard game to attune to the pace of, arriving from the bench.
Once again, it's Celtic who have dominated the action areas. I'm sure they're ahead in possession, I've no doubts of that.
But the difference tonight is that they've got something from their possession. Yeah. And they want more. Clement. Here's Cadet. Van Hooijdonk. Robertson forming the outlet for Rangers, and he was pursued all the way by the long stride of Van Hooijdonk and forced Robertson to knock it out of play. Stubbs. You see what he was trying to do, but it was by no means a good attempt to get the ball up and beyond the Rangers midfield towards the run of Di Canio. Do you think, Andy, now it's an amazing game this psychologically as well as in other senses? One or two Celtic players will be thinking about, hang on a minute, we've got a goal here, we're level. Should we just rein it in a little bit? Here's Van Vossen.
I think not, Mark. I think as it stands, this is a better point for Rangers in the context of the Premier League than it is for Tommy Burns' team. And I think if Tommy thinks his team go and win it, he'll be saying, let's go and win this.
Well, they've not beaten Rangers since May of '95 in a game that's always described as meaningless because Rangers were already champions. There's plenty of meaning here tonight. They trying to provide plenty of muscle in there as well against Van Vossen. McLaren charged down by Cadet, Van Hooijdonk, and Björklund interposing himself. It was a right old tangle in the end, and Van Hooijdonk couldn't free himself of the attentions of Joachim Björklund and stride on to give Celtic what they were craving for.
Well, it was Björklund's speed, Mark, that was so important. Hooijdonk had about a yard start on him. Björklund got back in, got his body between Van Hooijdonk and the ball. And I think Van Vossen was happy about that because he played a nightmare ball to Alan McLaren.
Miller. We shouldn't rule out the possibility, of course, of Rangers coming up with another goal, although hardly threatened. But here's Eric Bo Anderson. Corner.
Oh, that had to be well timed, didn't it? Good turn from Bo Anderson here, and as he comes across, that's got to be timed perfectly, that tackle.
David Hanna did just that. That's Petric. That's Van Vossen. Headed back a long way by McLaren. Miller. And Petric. Now Di Canio, and great agitation on the Rangers bench as the ball was given away and Celtic given the chance and the room to come forward here. Cadet, Di Canio, and it's all over intricate between the two of them.
That was all. Too neat.
Van Hooijdonk was fancying some glory. There's a misplaced pass by Van Vossen.
It really put McLaren into his problem, but look at the way Björklund got back. It was a tussle, it was a good battle between the two. It was difficult to pick the free kick out of that.
Yes, Björklund did his job. He did it very well indeed. Well, this is an interesting change. Alan Stubbs comes off. And Andres Tom, who's been suffering with a back problem recently, not fit enough in terms of recent match practice to start the game. Like Hanna's gone into the back line.
It has, yeah.
Well, here's Alberts, and here's Anderson! Rangers back in front, 7 minutes to go. Suicide for Celtic.
And yet again, a wonderfully cool finish and a white-hot atmosphere. Just like Paolo Di Canio, the bounce there beats Jackie McNamara. But he wasn't tempted with the shot. He was so aware of Bo Anderson's position. And that was a super slot. So like the Canio's, so aware of the goalkeeper's position, and tucks it beautifully into the corner. No problem for McNamara. The bounce just deceives him. Might have been tempted to shoot Alberts, but he knew Anderson was in a better position.
Well, Rangers have hardly threatened the entire second half. And Walter Smith has come up with a substitution to delight the management and to change the course of the game and put the season, he will hope, back on track. And Celtic must be absolutely stunned. They've contributed so much to the second half and they're behind again. And here is the man who's made it happen, Eric Bo Anderson. Others streaming forward in support.
I don't think Walter Smith would be too happy, but the others streaming forward, Mark. They're 3v3 at the back.
Tom. Rangers determined not to be caught in possession there. Van Bossen. Well, Alberts, who scored so early, has set up a second so late. And Rangers, you have to hand it to them. They haven't had a second half to remember in any other sense, except that they're back in front.
And the 3v3 at the back again, Martin. That seems crazy to me.
Tom to the feet of Di Canio. That's beyond any chance of Van Hooijdonk out of reaching it. Well, is this the moment that's wrapped it up for Rangers?
I mean, it's a nothing free kick, and they deal with it quite well here. The fatal mistake was McNamara allowing it bounce. But from there, that's a lovely finish from the striker. Lovely finish. We talk about managers earning their money, Martin. Both have contributed with decisions they've had to make to this second half. Tommy Burns' decision to bring on Van Hooijdonk and change the shape of his team, got his side back into the game. And then Walter Smith's just as crucial decision to bring on two fresh sets of legs.
Oh, it's O'Donnell. Can he got past one who was the slipping and slithering McLaren. But there was help for Rangers behind him. Out comes Gorham to fist away the corner. McNamara to surely knock it straight back in, which he does. That's Phil O'Donnell. And connects, but there's no goal. Flags up.
Flags up. That was a lovely spinning shot. Linesman's flag was up very quickly. Ball comes back out from here. Oh, I tell you what.
That's not offside.
That is not offside. That is not offside. The header down, the control was good, the decision wrong.
Three minutes to go. And Celtic, when they see that replay, will be livid. Crucial moment was when O'Donnell made contact with the header, and at that moment
Cadet was level.
Cadet was in a legitimate position, but it's no goal. Di Canio. McStay.
Half a chance for Paul McStay. I've seen him score from that sort of range. There's no doubt he's got a lot of players to go past here. There's no problem with that. Ball's played beautifully back to him. Never over the top of the ball.
Andy, your thoughts about the man of the match tonight?
I've always said in this match, it's always difficult to pick an individual. I think there's one from the minute it's gone, minute it started, from start to now, has been David Robertson. Has been the most impressive, I feel. And he's my man of the match.
Got a bit nervy then. Not through any proximity of any opponent, but in his desire to get Celtic forward. There's another break on here. Bow Anderson again. A sensational appearance from the substitute. And no wonder Walter Smith embroils himself in the celebration. He has taken the game totally away from Celtic. It's 3-1.
Well, I have to say, Mark, Alberts is certainly playing his part in this game, isn't he? A great free kick. And what a finish here as well. Lovely ball through. Keeper comes out, a cool head's needed, he watches him come across. Look at him, looking at the keeper. He knows if he gets it past him, he must score. And that's game-setting match.
But is this over the piece, the real story of the current scene in Scotland? Celtic are good enough to get close, but when they do, Rangers raise their game. And they're only seconds away from 3 wins out of 3 in the Old Firm clashes this season. McStay. Here's Cleland.
Well, it might be 3-1, Mark, but what a big decision that disallowed cadet goal has proved to be.
Came either side of 2 goals in the last 6 minutes from Eric Bow Anderson. 3-1 when it might have been 2-2. 3-1 when it should have been 2-2. Free kick to Celtic, but it's academic now. Jim McCluskey getting the wall back. Well, tonight's thrill started with a superb Rangers free kick. Van Hooijdonk. Oh. Coming up with a splendid effort of his own, and flying through the air again was the man in white.
Well, it's a lovely free kick. Pace and bend. And yet again, when Gorham's required, Gorham's there.
Well, Rangers have done it again. Very hard work, but they came good when it mattered. Eric Bow Anderson, their hero tonight. 2 goals from the substitute. An almost embarrassed smile there as his teammates converge on him. But Jörg Albert started it so encouragingly for the league leaders, and he was involved in so much. 1-0 with that fantastic free kick. But it was Celtic for long periods in the second half, and they did what they hadn't done against Rangers in the 2 other Old Firm games this season. They scored, Paolo Di Canio, but then the bounce went away from Jackie McNamara, the ball went away from him. Alberts teed up Eric Bow Anderson, 2-1. And after Cadet's goal was controversially disallowed, that would have made it 2-2, it was Anderson again. And Rangers wreathed in smiles. Celtic have to take it on the chin again, hoping that they're not totally knocked out of title contention. But now they definitely need the help of other clubs to slow Rangers' proud progress. 3-1 the final score. Let's join Davy Provan.
David, once again, Rangers have delivered here tonight when it most matters. How big a step do you think you've taken tonight in terms of the championship?
Well, obviously, we need 3 points tonight, and it makes that Celtic make it a wee bit harder for themselves now. But there's still 16 games left, and they've got a couple of games in hand, so it's not all over yet. We've still got a long way to go yet.
Is it all the sweeter, this victory tonight, given the players that you were missing?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you that we don't need Loud up and Goffey. Everyone says it's a 2-man team, but we battled away tonight and got the awards, and hopefully they're watching at home in their sick bed.
Eric, can you describe how you're feeling right now? Because it was your substitution that turned this match on its head, and you haven't been without your critics since you came to Rangers.
Right now I'm in heaven, so I'm very delighted to make sure we got the victory today.
There's been so much talk about you leaving the club, talk about you going to Portugal and Sporting Lisbon. Do you see yourself being a Rangers player next season?
I'm going nowhere, and that has been all the time. There's been a lot of rumours because I've been out for a long time with injuries and so on, but there's nothing to it, so I'm still a Rangers player.
David, how much of this win tonight is down to the spirit of that dressing room?
Well, since I've come here 5 years ago, it's 6 years ago now, we've also had great determination. When the tough games come, we always seem to come through, and tonight was no different.
Now, your contract's up at the end of the season, of course. Are the Rangers supporters going to see you back here next season?
We'll have to, I hope so, yeah, but there's a long way to go in the football stakes. But I'll just take one game at a time, and I'm enjoying it just now, so.
OK, well, you can start enjoying the new year because you're the man of the match. Eric, will you present the champagne? Congratulations, lads, well done.
Well, Eric Bow Anderson is in heaven. How does that young man feel? In hell right now, I would think. Beaten again, Celtic, here at Ibrox today. 3-1. We'll get the thoughts of Charlie Nicholas and Gordon Smith when we come back on a stormy New Year's Day derby. Got a feel for them, haven't you? Poor young lad. And it won't go away. It'll still be 3-1 in the morning as well. And probably the day after that. Celtic beaten in the New Year derby by 3-1. Very sterile affair first half, you'd have to say that. But it really came to life in the second 45 minutes. But Celtic will probably once again be wondering how it went away from them. 4 bookings in total on the night. Di Canio, second half, after he'd scored. Wasn't as bad as Hart's mind when he went off after scoring. First half action areas, look where the ball was for the most part, in that middle third. Second half, all that changed, and quite dramatically as well. Celtic had the best of it and the possession, but they've lost the match 3-1. Here's the Rangers manager, Walter Smith, with Davy Probin.
Walter, I know before this match you tried to play its importance down, but you've just taken 3 crucial points towards the championship. Do you think that was no more than you deserved tonight?
Well, it was a very difficult match. I felt the first half was even. I didn't think either attacks really bothered the opposition defence in any way. Just a terrific free kick from George Alberts to separate the teams. Second half, Celtic had much the better of it. To be fair to my own boys, we've got quite a few of them. We had more than half a dozen of them there struggling from the effects of flu, and we've lost a few. So I expected them to tire, and Celtic put us under a fair bit of pressure in the second half, and on pressure, possibly a little bit difficult in them in terms of the result, but delighted to have won it all the same.
Whose decision was it to play Paul Gascoigne and Andy Gorham? Was it up to the players themselves tonight?
Well, Andy Gorham struggled for a few days, but not as bad as Paul Gascoigne. And Paul's just in the early stages of the flu, so he felt he could play all right. It was difficult for him, but we also have Craig Moore, the same situation, Eric Anderson and Peter van Vossen. So it was a struggle for the whole lot of them, and it was a tough selection for us this evening. Just how pleased were you for Eric Bow Anderson, because he has been heavily criticised since he came here? Well, I think that happens to any club. I think people have got to be fair to him. He's never had a great run. His goal-scoring record speaks for itself. If somebody can show me a player with a better goal-scoring record, that's something. They might show me a better player, but I don't know whether they'll show me a better goal-scorer. So how significant is this win tonight in terms of the championship itself? Well, like all managers, we still consider we're only into the second half. The consistency that both Rangers and Celtic have shown over the last couple of seasons there would indicate that it's a big result for us. That's us taking 9 points from them. It means that we've created an 8-point gap on them. I know it might look a bit bigger with games in hand, but it was a big result for us. But we're under a fair bit of pressure going to Easter Road on Saturday. That's always a tough match. We've already lost there this season. So no use winning these games and then dropping points elsewhere. And so far this season, we've dropped points against teams when we've been in a winning position, and none of these teams have been Celtic. So we've still got a bit of football to play. Well, you started Easter Road on Saturday, as you say. Are you hoping to be in better shape health-wise going into that one? Well, I'll be very doubtful if we will be. I mean, you know, most of them struggle through tonight's game. I would think that as long as we can manage to get the same gritty performance, I'll be happy. But I would think that we'll have to make a few changes from that team. Thanks a lot, Walter. Well done tonight. Thanks, Davey.
Charlie Nicholas and Gordon Smith have been with us all evening. A very different reaction to that result in here. Let's look back at the most important and crucial points of another New Year's Day derby that has gone Rangers' way. Well, is it all over then, Charlie?
I think it is, Richard. I think, OK, there's a lot of games to go. You just can't see Celtic 2 games in hand, 14 behind. You can't see Rangers dropping that amount of points. Plus, the pressure is on Celtic to win every game now.
What an opening. Albertz with the free kick. Absolute screamer. But in truth, that was about the only highlight of the first half, Gordon, wasn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't much goal-mouth action, and Walter Smith alluded to it there. Hardly either defence troubled at all. That free kick bounced awkwardly for Andy Gorham, but really, both teams, I thought, gave each other too much respect. There was probably a little bit too much fear on both sides because of the importance of the game.
He's a character, Charlie, isn't he, Di Canio?
Yeah, he's big personality, very popular, of course, with the Celtic fans, not with too many others. But after the goal, really, Celtic got the old 1-2 trick again from Rangers, and you just felt that Rangers weren't going to get in it. They needed to change. But when Celtic had started the second half with Donald in the central role, it did make a big difference, and they dominated the second half, to be fair.
Well, there was an appetite, wasn't there? A real desire, as though somebody had said at half-time, hey, do you realise what we're playing for here, how high the stakes are? Van Hooijdonk made a difference when he came on, didn't he? And all of a sudden, they looked like a team that wanted something out of the game.
Yeah, I think Tommy took a bit of a risk when he brought in Van Hooijdonk because he was playing a cagey way, but they were a goal down and he had to do something. And it worked for them because Van Hooijdonk, I thought, stirred things up. He did really well at the goal, laid it on for Di Canio to score. But then all of a sudden, Tommy took another risk in order to go and win the game. And as we've seen in the past, that's what cost him. He took off Stubbs in the central defence, put on another attacking player, left that a little bit of open space, and Rangers exploited it again.
Well, I don't know. I would tend to go along with the fact that it's an error from Jackie McNamara. Maybe even be down as a double error because he should have cleared these lines, put Brian O'Neill in a bit of trouble, and from then, as soon as it went 2-1, the game was over. Rangers were pretty solid after that.
At 1-1 here, you'd have to say that Celtic looked strong. Walter Smith changed things around. He got no legs up front, had he? Anderson came on.
Well, I think they had to change also, didn't they? Because they were pinned in their own half for so long. But full credit to him, he brought on the 2 forwards.
He's quite happy with that goal.
I think he's maybe just a bit chuffed, eh?
But the thing was, at that stage, I mean, that was a lovely touch from Van Hooijdonk, to be fair. Look at this, a good tackle by McLaren. And I thought McLaren was outstanding in the game too. But that is a good finish. Very, very cool at the back post. I feel sorry for him being booked. I mean, the importance of the game, what that goal must have made I feel like. Now, the only thing I can think of there is that is a handball, but it looks as if he's given offside, which is a bad decision.
It looked like there from...
This is a good finish. This is not an easy one. That's not an easy finish, that. That's a good finish. Bo Anderson, what a difference he made coming on.
That was a good finish, but you're right. And we've seen a linesman there just react and touching his hip as if maybe it is a handball. There's no way it can be for offside. It's got to be for handball or some other infringement. But this is a cool finish.
Well, to Albertz as well, Charlie. I mean, he found Bo Anderson for both goals there with lovely little passes into him, diagonal balls for a good run. That's a great save.
Right. He helped make the 2. He scored a fabulous goal. He had, and again, had a very impressive match, probably the best he's played for several weeks. But I had to agree with Andy Gray. I thought David Robertson was outstanding.
And for you then...
Rangers had even more problems with the beginnings of a flu epidemic.